Hey guys, Dehydrayton here, and just sitting behind this lovely pear tree I have that's blossoming right now in my backyard. And this is the first time I'm going to see the pears actually grow on it, so I can actually harvest them when they're ripe, as opposed to, when we first moved here, where all the pears, some of them were dying and most of them were just hardened up. So when I got my knife and took some off, they didn't really taste too good. They were pretty sour. I just want to have a lot of land, and then just carve out each section, have like a little nature spot, like a little meditation area, have my own fruits and vegetables that I can grow. I want a lot of animals, have a log house that I built myself. That's my dream. And then from there, just traveling and trying to make friends with as many people as I can. It's really all I want to do. What I'm excited to do, which is journal my thoughts. That normally comes naturally. Most of the time I can't really go out of my way to create a teaching. Oftentimes that's where I get that I feel burned out, where it's like, oh, what's something I can present for the next video? That's why I said I won't have a video every Wednesday, but you can count on a video being there on Wednesday. Like, one of my core virtues that I believe in, that don't let anyone ever pace your own steps. There's no point in anybody outside of yourself telling you when and how you should be doing things. All it does is slow you down, because now you're trying to catch up to somebody else's expectations. So it's this stupid endless chase. Another thing is, always believe in yourself no matter what. And this is a simple one, but it was something I never had to be told to understand when I grew up. I had dealt with a lot of shit. The one thing I always stuck with me was just always believe in yourself. I've always been what I look at in other people is their personal ability. A lot of people I talk to and that I used to hang around with, they'd always just downplay their ability to do something. And I was always that person. I was like, fuck you talking about? And then we actually flesh it out together, and then after we're done talking, they realize they can actually act on their willpower, because you can. Because this is an intention-based reality, you need to have confidence to be able to do whatever you want to do. But confidence isn't this static state. It's constantly adjusting to your thoughts of the moment. As long as the majority of your thoughts are composed of how can I do this, as opposed to when I can do this, you'll be good. But that's something you need to actively take responsibility in. You can't just let things happen to you. And when they do, you have to just let them go, because that's just fucking spoiled milk in the fridge, like that video describes. It was Mind Valley. It was 4 stages of consciousness, something like that. And damn, after watching that, and I'm not completely done with it either, because I just felt like recording as I was watching this. I want to do a Mind Valley talk. At first, I was thinking about a TED Talk, because multiple people have told me, hey, you should do a TED Talk. I'm like, oh, fucking bet. But, and then I tried actually writing one a few months ago, and I was just like, I don't really like this. I go pretty impromptu when I talk, so I think if I did do a presentation, whether it be TED Talk or Mind Valley, I'm leaning more towards the Mind Valley, because you have people who already think like you in whatever you're going to be presenting. It'd be like how I do my videos. It'd be like some type of model, and then I just very quickly go through that. I'm still thinking in the process for what topic it would actually be. It probably would be around consciousness, because that's pretty much my bread and butter. But at the same time, I also want to challenge myself. Oh, and that's another thing too. Inner competition. That is so important for growth. You don't necessarily need an external person to keep you moving. It don't gotta be no Goku and Vegeta type shit where you gotta catch up to someone you already perceive as better than you. I don't perceive nobody as better than me. Just because of that, I can't necessarily say I see someone as below me either. If we're all on different fucking paths and we're all converging in the same direction, who am I to even stop your progress by saying, oh, you can never do this and never do that because this, and that. Semantics. All I'm talking about is the filter of my experiences. How can I compare that to somebody else's experiences when I can't even tap into what they're talking about? Understanding what they're saying and being empathic is not the same thing as actually seeing the exact lens that they perceive their experiences. And so, it's a funny thing, because that's actually why we kind of need each other. We aren't really able to have intrinsic meaning into the things we do until there's some type of external reference to be like, that's cool, or that's there, to acknowledge it. We all desire to be seen in some way, and ignoring that actually creates more suffering than trying to chase it, because that's when you start creating all these layers of Maya, these layers of separation, where it's like, I'm the only one that's been like that. I'm the only person who has these thoughts. I'm the only person that's felt this way. And you put yourself in a deeper and deeper hole, because then the universe will start sending you fucking people that can give you that support, and then you reject all of them one by one, as if they're waiting in the line for you. Just next, 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 because you're comparing each individual sovereign being to your expectations of how you want people to react to you. And you're not even necessarily in a receptive state if you're already judging people like that. People don't come into your life to help you. People come into your life to share experiences with you, and that allows both of you to grow. To me, love isn't two people looking at each other. Love is two people looking in the same direction. That's how I've always seen love. And so when I was reading The Alchemist, and then I finished that, well, near the end, I'm going to read this part that I really liked. I'm a desert woman, and I'm proud of that. I want my husband to wander as free as the wind that shapes the dunes. And, if I have to, I will accept the fact that he has become part of the clouds, the animals, and the water of the desert. And, goddamn. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's my type of woman right there. Like, it just lets you be free. And they don't have any type of insecurities as to where you're gonna go. If I, like, find a girl that I, like, really love, I'm not about to fucking leave. I'm not on that bullshit where it's like, let's cheat. And that's why it's like with porn, where it's like, it's so easy to do. That's why I can't do it. Something's wrong with it if it's like, it's so abundant, it's suspicious, you know? Like, I can't even read certain articles without, like, getting something that's, like, suggestive and making me want to go right back to porn. If I sit there, I'm like, that's a good idea. I keep convincing myself further and further in my head, even though the silent thoughts, which is the inner self, the ones that's whispering in the back, that's like, hey, nigga, you know what's going to happen. You're going to feel lethargic. You're not going to feel like doing anything else. You're not going to have the same energy you normally have. That shit be in the background. You're just thinking, okay, I just take my phone out. I just take my laptop out. And it's so easy. And that's why porn isn't good. But porn itself, I'm not going to say is good or bad. For me, it slows me the fuck down, like with weed. And that's why I stopped smoking weed, because all weed is just, it opens the right brain. I was already a right brain person, so I don't actually need that shit. It gives you creativity, it calms you down, this, and that. But, like, I'm already like that without the weed. So, all I was doing was making me overthink more than I had to. And it made me more self-conscious when I was in public. So I was just like, fuck that. And also, what is up with the stupid-ass weed culture where you should be ashamed of being high? I don't even get that. Like, niggas that be smoking, like, 6-7 blunts a day and they don't be getting high, like, a fucking weird flex, but okay. Or, like, when you smoking with a certain group of people and they try to act all cool and shit, if I'm high, I'm high. I ain't about to hide it. Of course, I'm not done smoking weed. It's just, I'm not smoking it anymore like how I used to, where it used to be, like, an everyday thing, or it used to be, like, every time I run out of weed, I'm like, hey, let me get some more. That's, like, borderline addiction. Weed ain't really like that in general. It ain't necessarily addictive. It's just if you got an addictive personality, that shit's hard for you to get off of. If you have nothing else in your life that makes you feel relaxed and at ease. Because I know it do be feeling good when you come back from, like, a long-ass day of work, smoke a blunt before you go to sleep. It feels good. So you can't hate on it. Now that, like, my life gotten better, I ain't really care about that type of stuff. I just see them more as distractions, because the stuff I'm trying to work on now, they would have just been dreams. They would have remained as unconscious ideas if I continued smoking weed every day now, up until now. And now I'm kind of seeing this with porn, where it's like, if I was still watching porn every day now, it would end up being up to where I'd be fucking 30 and still doing it. Where it'd be like 15 years and ain't nothing changed. Like, I have to break out of that habit now, or I feel like I'm never going to break out of it. And in the case of porn, it was just like, I need to break out of it so I can really understand what intimacy is, because I've been so disconnected from just, like, feeling the warmth of other people, and it's so easy to close off other people too when you just don't like being vulnerable. And so that's what these videos kind of are in a way. They're vicariously, through me explaining vulnerability in a teachable way, it heals me to see that people are actually able to adopt it as a practice, whether it's meditation or how to transition between the consciousness levels, which that's actually the first podcast episode, by the way. So I just want to really thank you guys for supporting me, because I'm getting to 300 really fast. So fucking bet. Some experiences I've had recently. I was meditating, I don't know, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago. And this was at night, but I was sitting up, so I know I didn't fall asleep or anything like that. And this whole, like, you try to chase something for a while, it'll just keep going further back till you can understand that you ain't really want it like that. And so that's what happens. For the longest time, I wanted to see my spirit guide. I wanted to know, like, what the being's name was, who it was, like, what it looked like, so I could draw, like, stuff like that, okay? And it finally presented to me when I had almost forgot about the idea of, or didn't really care about the idea of spirit guides, and it was a swan. The swan was my spirit guide. It presented itself to me over the pond, actually, where near the camp was. I saw this image in my mind's eye. And then it didn't communicate through words, but it did communicate to me. Once I came out of that, I was like, what did that mean? This is another interesting thing, too. This has to do with, like, this is what I mean by, like, synchronicities, which is really funny because it just casually happened. I got invited into this forum. It was called Slack. And it's cool because it's like you get to talk to all these like consciously aware people. We're having some good conversations too. I need to be more actively involved in it. It's just I've been busy. I have a screenshot of this. He said something about a Swan Song. I was like, what the fuck is a swan? And that just caught my eye. It just made me think back with the spirit guide. And I searched up what a Swan Song was, and I'm going to read it to you. The phrase refers to an ancient belief that swans sing a beautiful song just before their death, having been silent or alternatively not so musical during most of their lifetime. And I was like, bro, when I first read that, when I was searching it up, like tears almost came to my eyes. Like that was so beautiful because that's literally how like my entire life has been, where it didn't feel okay to speak. I wasn't able to speak my truths. I wasn't able to communicate the things that I saw because I thought it couldn't be understood. So I stayed quiet most of the time, like during the school year. Most of the entirety of the school system, I was the shy kid that just chose not to talk. And the people that I did form relationships with, we were very close because I always kept a small circle. And so it was funny because it's like the spirit guide is most likely my higher self. My higher self was the form of the swan. And it was this triumphant call to action after years of making noise, of being silent, and not wanting to express, to close myself up from the things that I loved, and trying to twist it so that those things weren't real, when in reality I've always been loved. It's just, when you can't see it physically, of course you're going to compare everything by physical means, and that's a separation in itself. So that was amazing. And then also the significance of the swan, it refers to enlightenment, which is exactly the path I'm on. And not only that, after I searched up what the Swan Song meant, I was like, when did he send that message? And it was like 116, something like that. The numerology was 8, and I thought that was really funny too, because 8, like the 8th chakra, which is non-physical, it has to do with like etheric matter. It's the number of manifestation and abundance, and also integration. So it's the integration of all the experiences I've had in that repressed childhood, and manifesting it into something spiritually wise. And that's exactly what this channel has been in a way, for me anyways. But yeah, this is a random video. I don't really know what to call it. I just felt like I wanted to upload something for tomorrow. But next Wednesday, or the Wednesdays after, I don't know, on a Wednesday, that's when I'll make this video, which is how to resonate with your words. It's basically how you can turn your most immediate desires into an affirmation, which when used during meditation, which is a very simple method I have for that in that video, you can actually manifest what you want in physical reality, because at that point, those words, which is just a string of information, that'll be ingrained into your subconscious thinking, which that's kind of a paradox because the subconscious doesn't think, it just is. So, and because this channel is pretty much dedicated to personal ability, that's pretty much all I'm about, enhancing or making more efficient your ability to manifest things. Because this is an intention-based universe. Like I say, the universe is mental and the cause is subconscious. So to manifest anything you want in reality, you need to consciously address what is unconscious to you. But yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you for listening, and yeah, have a good day. When I start to speak, it fucking works when it's perfect. Connecting with my niggas, we the soul kin. We took a couple shrooms, that shit was potent. Slow motion, I see where nature got its locomotion. Beat a pussy nigga up Hodoken. I had you seeing double like the Olsens. Made him project and see the silver rope then. We never really know when we're the road ends. Treating love like I was in a tragic action, making plays that I didn't know back then. It's funny cause it was so problematic. It's magic, raised my consciousness and now I'm back in. I had to document how this shit happened.